Adventurers, we return back to our story of the Overdog Mercenaries, which we haven't done in a while, but glad to have you back. So, um, as we may recall, it's been a while, previously on last episode, a few of these mercenaries decided to come into the rich area district and do a little sabotaging of their adversaries, um, known as Tordune's clan. And yes, it seems like that worked. They made a hasty escape, and it was they were picked up from the ship, sailing over to the fishermen's quarters. A little bit further, let me share the map. Let's see. Share screen. Escaped from Torden's garage, made a hasty escape, sailing over to Ina's Divide. In the darkness of the night, there was many sea creatures that were lurking about. So the first mate, as well as some of the others, were a little bit worried and decided to sail up north, where you encountered some other creatures lurking about the fisherman's farm. Did a small favor for the fishermen there and took some refuge for the evening. And the next day, you decide to delve deeper and go towards where these giant lizards were hiding, because that's where some of the materials were, according to the fishermen. Most notably, I believe it was thorned,
Thimblewood.
or there you go,
Thimblewood.
thimblewood. Nice job. You do remember. Okay, great. And that is where we leave off. So, with the adventurers coming back. Oh, just checking out Reem there. There he is. With the adventurers taking a small sailboat, they make their way towards the dark caves that lurk about. All right, you guys. So, the three of you are on the ship, and you decide to bring your bard friend with you, who was kind of stalking the shoreline and is really interested in writing tales of adventures, and it felt like you'd be the ones to join in to gain some of that epicness of the tales. Remember, his name is Cain the Cantor. All right. So we return to your journeys.
Let's
Okay.
sail to that inlet. Unless the captain objects.
No, I think a little boat was at the captain. Little rowboat.
Oh, rowboat?
Yeah, we
Yep.
borrowed the boat.
That's right. You're on a little rowboat.
The owner's not with us anymore.
Well, you are the owner, as you may recall. You purchased the ship and you hired two crew members, and the two crew members are staying behind with the larger vessel, and that was the Sea Sage. So you decided to take a smaller rowboat, so that way you can navigate through some of these narrow passages. As you can see, here's a narrow corridor that the ship can barely squeeze through.
Let's go forward.
Okay. As you grab the oars and start pulling, you do make your way, sailing down, and you hear some echoes that cascade across the side and bounce off the cavern walls. It almost sounds
I
like
have a little bit of dark vision.
you do. Yep. Okay.
60 feet.
Nice. Thieves have dark vision. That's cool. All right. That's I can give you a little bit more. Let's see. Let's see how much you got.
Swampy kind of place.
I think those are cave walls.
Cave walls.
Oh, that actually dropped it off a little bit. There you go. No, that didn't do anything. Set radius. Yep. It's the cave walls. Okay, with a little bit of dark vision, you can see a little bit further. But as you're moving across with the vessel, you see the waters are still flowing, and there's kind of like dripping and splushing about, and some kind of groans like as you paddle your way. And with a hushed tone, Kane looks around. I sense that we're going to start our adventure soon. We should find this thimblewood and perhaps sneak out before we disturb those that lurk within.
I will put a non-detection on. Who should I put it on? On Nerdy. I'm gonna put non-detection on Nerdy, so you can
Just
see
send me
arrows from
forward.
afar without no one knowing he's there.
Okay, so non-detection is what again? Go ahead.
Non-detection is for duration. You can hide a target that you touch from divination magic.
Ah, okay. So anybody that is trying to use divination to see your whereabouts, they won't be able to see Mr. Nerdy.
Basically, no one can see him.
Got it.
It's like he's invisible. He's gone.
I think that's with divination spells, right? Non-detection. Let me double check that.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
from divination magic. It's not like he's invisible. That's different. It's more like if somebody tries to use
I'm
a
gonna put
spell.
non-detection on him and blur on him.
And what? Blur?
Mhm.
Okay. So
So
blur,
so no one can find him. Basically, blur makes him wavy.
right.
We can barely see him, but it's really, really hard.
Well, that's not exactly how blur works. It makes kind of like a
Wavy,
shifting
yeah.
effect, right? So that means anybody that
So-
tries to attack him will have
Will be-
disadvantage because it's kind of like they don't really know exactly where he is.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, with so blur does take your concentration. So you have to hold that, and non-detection is okay. That's just a touch, and that lasts for 8 hours. All right.
Let's go.
Cool.
Let's keep going forward. Well, you
You
guys
see-
choose where you want to go.
As the cavern kind of widens towards the mouth, you can see that the caves and the stalactites that are hanging below bring over to a more still part of this overall structure. And you can see there's some thin rocks that are jolting about as the waters crash upon the shoreline. As you make your way towards upwards, you can see before you there's some smashed crates that are about, and perhaps other. Oh, what is this big block? There's a line that's not supposed to block your vision. Gotta figure out what that is. There it is. Good. Got rid of that. Okay. You see there is actually a hardened surface, and you can see more crates and blocks. As you come closer, go ahead and make a perception check.
$19.
Awesome.
I have to roll a perception, right?
You got it.
11.
11, okay. And Mr. Nerdity?
And 9.
9, okay.
I
Right.
know I'm so dull.
It's okay. You're probably bewildered by, you're trying to listen to the sounds and hearing the distance, and not really sharing the proximity of where these sounds are coming from. It just echoes through this cavern, and it's a little bit distracting. As well as the bard, you also perplexed about the surroundings, and as the small embers of light that just cascade across the water kind of show the shadows and illuminations. He is a little bit like on edge. Um, it is shade actually that's pretty attentive, and as you look about, you see with your dark vision and some of the descriptions of items that you were to acquire before, you could see over on the right side, pretty much down here. Let's see, regular pane. You can see some entwined branches that spike upwards and seems to be rooted inside of this almost seaweed, kind of like leathery texture of entwined branches, and they spike upwards with they grow all around the cavern and seemingly upwards towards the ceiling. And then Ruff also
That's what we
spots
need.
that there's this area right next to where your ship just kind of like softly glide into the shoreline. Seems to be pretty stable. If you just lock down the ship just with a light anchor, you should be able to prevent the ship from drifting away. The sounds do get louder. Everybody,
Animal life in here.
right? From your perception, you only hear echoes of the echoes that you heard before, but they're louder. There's kind of like squishing sounds and small murmurs of foreign beasts. You know that this place is inhabited by something, but you don't know where, and it may be only a matter of time before they reveal themselves. Okay, go. What do you guys want to do?
Wade ashore.
Okay.
Go ashore. Does anybody want to stay behind and make sure the boat doesn't actually drift away?
No.
Rough. No.
Okay. As you mentioned that, the Kane answers, I can fasten this vessel if you wish me to stay behind. I'm not much of a combatant, but I can definitely see your whereabouts, and if I can be your scout should anything come over from the way we came from, and I'll keep an eye about.
Okay.
And with that, I think, let's see, let's get, okay, so that you guys can describe how you want to approach or who wants to go up and what you want to do.
I would go investigate those crates first.
I can go look at the thimblewood.
Okay.
Where's the thimble?
Right there.
Those things.
Probably thimblewood.
Okay. But can you march across those, whatever that is,
It's like
those
wet ground.
tangle roots? Can you actually walk across it?
Yes, as you disembark from the ship, you immediately notice that your feet feel like they almost kind of sink in this marshy, cavernous. There's some rocks that are a little bit supported, but then as you step, you see your foot kind of splash into it, and the water rises up to your
So
ankles.
it's probably better to go over here first, right? Where the crates are.
Yeah.
I'd just
Can
go.
can we actually? Do we need to go around from that area where there's crates and then come back down, or
It depends what you want to do.
We'll just go straight to the
marshy area?
wood.
I just go the shortest distance that there's like that marshy water stuff. Like go to the crate side first so we don't have to walk through that much.
And I cast disguise self to make myself extremely tiny. Like extremely tiny.
Disguise self, I don't think works that way. You have to be similar shape and size, but you can change your appearance to be like, like a fish person or something, but you still be about the same stature.
So it says we can seem 1 foot shorter or taller.
Yep.
You can be either thin, fat, or in between. You can't change your body type, so you can't disguise yourself as a monster like an ant.
Correct.
But you can change how big you are.
By about 1 foot. Yes, so it's not significantly enough.
Hmm,
You're not like a giant monster. You're still within the same stature.
I know. I was thinking of that idea to create a scam to get items, good items from the villagers.
Are you? Are you thinking about that now?
Yeah. Let's go to the wood.
Oh, there are
Okay.
staircases.
Hmm?
There's a staircase.
Wait, can I check one of the boxes first?
One of the what?
Boxes. The one right.
You're all going to go up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see what's in there.
Yeah. As you
Ooh, goodies.
make these light steps, go ahead and make, I guess I'm going to have to say stealth check for everyone that's going up that way.
I got a 25.
Fantastic. 25.
Let's hope I get something good. 10.
Okay.
Out of 13.
All right, not bad. As you try to make your way quietly over, Shade is very adept and can move rather quickly. The two of you are getting a little bit stuck in the mud, and the swampy texture. You see some seaweed pulling up, and as you try to pull it out, there's some splashing of water, but the sound is dulled from all the echoes coming through the caves. You are all able to make it across, and you feel like this area is actually more supporting of your footing, as there is moss that's laid over almost the entire grounds, and there's lots of shattered boxes that are about, and before you is also this large staircase, as well as these two cast lanterns that shine very dimly, but it is obvious that they've been planted here, and perhaps something lurks within.
I have an idea. So how about we check what's in the boxes, see if there's any money or goodies. Then we go get the wood down there, and then we can go explore and see what we can kill.
Sure.
Okay,
Okay.
so you guys are going to start searching the boxes.
Mhm.
All right. The cavern does extend probably into the darkness, so as Shade, you move over here, you can see pretty much the edge of the cavern with all the barbed thimblewood being about. There is a lantern. There's 3 lanterns, so you can see there's these 2 that kind of illuminate towards the staircase that goes downwards, as well as this one that's conspicuously placed onto the edge of the wall. Shay, go ahead and make a investigation check.
$16.
Nice. 16 is pretty good. As you're, let's get some mysterious music going here. Is that coming through? Maybe not. Do you hear any sound?
No.
Okay, give me a sec.
You have to play it out loud.
Yep. Going to,
I can barely hear it.
now you can hear it, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, it's meant to be quiet background music. But yes, as Shade moves over towards the side, and you see with your investigation, a lot of these crates seem to be almost shipments from the kingdom, and they have some markings about them. With your clear investigation, you can see that this conspicuous lamp that's over onto the right side seems to be there for a purpose, as there's some kind of grounds that are disheveled and there's piles of rocks, particularly here, that looks very conspicuous. Okay, Mr. Nerdy and Ruff, how about you guys?
I think it may be a mess.
I'll go over and check the rubble.
You're gonna go over there, follow Shade.
Like go next to the rubble.
Okay. So Shade's the one that pointed that out. Mr. Nerdy, how about you?
I'm gonna go towards the wood. The
Which one?
thimblewood.
Oh, you are gonna go down. Okay.
Yep.
Down here.
Still within sight of the rest
Yep.
of the party.
Okay. Go ahead and make a nature check, Mr. Nerdy.
Nature.
Should be very high.
And Ruff, go ahead and make a perception check.
I had a 30. I had a 21
Wow, that's fantastic. 21. All right.
for nature.
You're very attuned to this natural environment. Ruff,
7.
would 7? Okay. You so as Mr. Nerdy surveys these branches that come from the bottom, they're rooted all the way upwards and spiral up to the ceiling of the caverns. It would normally be very difficult to obtain this material for all the thorns that are laying about, but you can see certain patches that have been cleared and will make it very easy for you to extract some of the materials that you need rather quickly with your astute finding. Okay. Also, you can see that from a glimmer, you can see there's a embedded, almost like crate or a chest that is well buried within the thimblewood. It captures your eye only because you can see that it's unnaturally set into the large buff shrubs with a small kind of a light that gives you a sparkling effect. It would be difficult to get there. It definitely takes some time. And Ruff, you as well see this little shimmer of something that's underneath where Shade is moving towards. Okay, you guys. The sounds do get louder. And you hear visibly some kind of steps.
Where is it coming from?
You don't know.
Still
With your
First-
perceptions, it's hard to tell.
First, let's grab the thimblewood. Well, I'm gonna check the chest and grab the thimblewood. Can we check what's in the boxes and then grab the thimblewood?
Make one action first.
Check the box.
The box in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay. And
Anything in it?
how about you, Ruff?
I'll go check the thing that's under the rubble.
Ah, so you make a way over here?
Yep.
Okay. And Mr. Nerdy?
I'll go towards the thimblewood bush again. Am I
Alright.
close enough to collect some, or
You are. You're just right on the edge of it, and you're going to make your way to start collecting?
yes?
Okay. Excellent. We'll do you first. Since you did roll an excellent nature check, you are able to easily grab some of the thimblewood around you. You see them disappearing. And those parts were very easy to grab the materials. It makes it a little bit so you can get further towards this interesting box that's hidden and embedded and almost overgrown with all the other thimblewood. But you have a sizable amount of this material as you carefully put it into your satchel without having it poke out or break it.
Well, how much do we need?
You don't know. But you
The
have,
entire boat up.
So do I need to take it back?
in
to
that
the
amount of
boat?
time, you've gathered about 5 units worth of thimblewood.
What do you think, guys? Should we get more?
Yeah,
Okay.
get enough so that you can go to the chest.
Shade, as you look through this shattered crate, go ahead and give. Actually, it's fine. It's good enough. You can see that it's mostly broken to pieces. However, there's some small coins that are embedded into the dirt that seem to not have been gathered. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Wait, what is it?
Shade's making perception.
20.
Shade is making a percentage.
20.
20.
Not like the exact 20. It's 16 plus 4.
That's fine. Amongst some of the scattered remains of this chest, you see there's probably about 22 gold pieces that are embedded into the kind of marshy flooring. Also, there seems to be a forgotten necklace that's also under
Okay,
some of
so
the
22
rocks.
gold.
Yep, 22 gold
And
and some necklace that you can't really tell what it is right now.
That's nice to somebody just let go.
oh,
lying
there's
around.
some really cool necklaces. So that's good.
Yeah, you can see this. The stone is a little bit dulled from all the dirt that's been pounded over it over time. Seems like whatever brought it here seemed to have not noticed it, and perhaps was forgotten for many, who knows, months,
So how do you add a
years.
special item?
Just put a necklace for now.
Oh, wait.
Okay, rough. Investigation check. As you clearly see, there's piles of dirt that have come about, and there's something jutting underneath.
4. 4.
4? All right. Yeah. As you start clearing through some of the land about, you can see there seems to be something dug in underneath the grounds. It's almost like a coffin or a chest, but it's still well buried and seems to be there for a reason.
Maybe a skunk will jump out.
Can I continue digging to get it out?
You can, but at that moment,
Hard to tell what that is. Well, you will eventually stumble over. Keep moving toward it.
there is an echo that bellows behind you. Look out! Over there! He says, kind of in a whispered tone, to reveal one of these large lizard-like creatures wielding a huge mace that has come up from the stairwell. Everybody roll initiative.
So that stairway goes down. It looked like it went up.
Yes, this one will go down.
18.
Maybe I could turn it the other way and make it look like the other way. Still kind of similar. That's a little bit better, I guess. 18,
Got a
okay.
14.
I got a 15.
Excellent. Good initiatives, guys. Let me just pull up the initiative chart. Give me a sec.
I don't know, what's the initiative for the lizard?
Okay, so you said Shade was 18?
Yep.
Okay, and then Ruff, you were 16?
14.
14. And Mr. Nerdy,
15.
15.
You can't see. Oh, hey.
This guy.
Mr. Nerdy is under blur, so he won't make us. So Mr. Nerdy has spells protecting him.
Okay. Quickly, with that small warning, Shade, your instincts kick in, and you see, as you turn your neck, snap to the direction, that there's this lizard-like creature that has just emerged. It's your turn.
I'm gonna cast blindness and blindness on it.
Yeah, okay, great. So, is that a check? Tell me, how's that work?
It says you can blind or deafen a foe. Choose one creature that you can see to make a Constitution saving throw. If it fails, the target is either blinded or deafened. Your choice. At
Okay,
the end of each turn, the target can make a Constitution saving throw. On a success, the spell ends.
Constitution saving throw for this creature. Let's see what happens. Oh, failed terribly. As you send this weaving spell of darkness, little puffs of smoke emit from your fingers and cascade over this creature's face. What do you want to cast on it? You have to choose blindness or deafness, right?
Blindness.
Blindness, okay. Right. You see that these puffs of smoke cover its eyes, and its lizard-like sharp, thin, stern look becomes clouded with almost like a white, milky texture as it screams out loud, making a large, thunderous sound. Okay, anything else? Tries a claw in front of its face.
Throw a dagger?
That would be another action, so unless you have two
Okay.
actions. You could move or
Fine, I'll
say
move to the
something.
thimbleweed. Thimbleweed.
Okay. You have plenty of moves to do that. Catch up with Mr. Nerdy doing the work. Mr. Nerdy, you're next.
Let's see. Can you remind me what is the distance of each one of the squares again?
5 feet.
5, yep.
5 yards?
5 feet.
5 feet each, yep.
5 feet? Okay. I'd like to try a level 4 sleep on the critter.
Okay. So remember, sleep, it's been a while, but remember, sleep is about, it's most effective if a creature is weak or creatures are weak. So that
It
means
is
you have
weak because I blinded it.
weak in terms of
Mentally weak.
health, because if you look at the sleep ability, it's about the remaining hit points that they have, which you can take a look. So you will roll X amount of D dice, but depending on what level that you're casting it, but it falls unconscious if it's the number you roll is equal to or greater than the number of hit points the creature has remaining.
Okay.
That's how the sleep spell works.
All right. Well, then let's wear him down a little bit more.
Okay.
Use magic missile then. Level 4 magic missile.
Level 4 magic missile. Okay. Sending some of these shards of electricity upwards. Go ahead and roll your loose dice. Level 4.
Which
So-
one do I?
Magic missile is normally a level 1 spell. Are you casting it as a level 4 spell?
Yeah, it's a 4th level. I have it for every level.
Correct. But the higher your level you cast it, the more dice you roll.
Let's see. 4.
So you're casting level 4?
Yeah.
All right. Normally you'd cast 3. There's 3 spheres that come up and attack at the d4 plus 1. For every level above second.
But is
Oh.
is it an absolute hit?
It is. Yep.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. That's why I was wondering where the actual hit
Yep.
chance was. So
Right. So if you're casting as a level 4, you add 3 more dice. So you're going to roll 6d4. And make sure you mark that spell slot.
This is D4. 6.
14 damage.
Did you add 6?
Oh, sorry. That'll be 20 then.
Okay. There's 6 bolts that send flying from your wrists as your fingertips that weave through the caverns. You see that it lights up to creating this electrifying arcane effect as they slam this creature side to side. 20 points of damage. As it hollers, not knowing which direction that these attacks are coming from. And with that smashing effect, Kane calls out, We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight these creatures then. Okay, Mr. Ernie, anything else?
I'll stay where I am.
Okay. This creature will try and make a Constitution saving throw. Nope, failed. So with the blindness, it will try to go.
Stumble around.
Yep. It goes direction of, let's see, maybe I'll roll a d12 and then use a clock. 7 o'clock. Seven o'clock. Let's see. All right. As it lumbers across, and you hear the crate smash behind its before its feet, breaking apart that one, and splashes some of the muddy water around it, and takes a big swing with its club, just blindly. It's getting close to your ship, though. Cascading lots of this still water and splashes upwards, some of it getting onto Kane. That creature's coming close. Okay, that will end its turn. You also see that some of that pounded effects on this creature seem to have almost magically disappeared from the side of its face. Rough.
So I'll move forward enough that I can shoot it 2 times because I have double actions.
Yes, you do. Shoot it with what?
I'll shoot it with a longbow.
Oh, you can shoot from longbow from there, but the darkness might make it more difficult. So you want to move up a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. That's about your range of vision. You can see it right outside of the shadows and definitely have a clear sight in where it's stumbling about.
Then I'll
Go ahead and
try
make
to
your
aim
attack
for its
rolls.
neck. So,
Okay.
longbow. 12.
Do you add any? Did you roll a 12 or do you add your?
12 plus 4.
Yep.
That would be a hit, right? 'Cause I
It
have
does.
Plus 4 right here.
Yep. Okay.
Damage.
Yeah.
Sure.
Eight.
8 points of damage as you aim towards the head region. Your arrow does fire and it manages to implant probably a little bit below the shoulder. You see the darkness is playing tricks on your eyes, and it does skewer inside of its shoulder blade. Go again.
9 plus 4, 13.
That one doesn't hit, unfortunately, as your second arrow knocks at your bow and you send it loose. This one seems to plant in the same area, but when it turns the shoulder around, you hear it crash into the plating of armor that it has on it. Unusually enough, these large creatures have some kind of armor on their bodies. It lets out a rattle from its tongue as it takes in that wound. Okay. Let's see. That's weird. That's not something. There's no key in this guy. All right. Let's go ahead and go to the bard fellow. As he's staying on the ship and anchoring, kind of staying low to the bow embodiments of the embarkments of the ship, he will send out a song of harm. Foul creature, fall before my power. Uh, D8.
Power of Arms fight a high level power spell.
6. Okay, that will be 10 points of damage, including 6 points of necrotic, and the creature is considered poisoned. You can see some of this weird effect that's coming about it as the flesh about where that shard of energy struck, it seems to be almost decaying, and there's like this big gooey bleeding pus-like protrusion comes out from it. Okay, so it's considered poison, taking 10 points of damage. Poisoned. Okay, back to the top of the round. Shade.
I will run up to it and slash it with and because I can't see me, do I get an extra 4d6?
Yeah, I'll let that happen.
Okay.
You get
okay.
sneak attack, so you're gonna run up.
Okay, what do I want to use? I'm gonna use my fire sword.
Okay. So you pull out your blade.
Does work against almost every single piece of armor. Oh, that's sad. 14.
14 does hit. You're as you charge valiantly across this cavern, pull out your blade and you see it just lights up, stab thrustwards onto its behind side. Go ahead and make your damage roll.
7 damage right now. And then
Yep.
4d6. 7 plus 10, so 17. And then 2d6. 20 damage.
20 total?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just check something really quick. Conditions. Poison. Disadvantage. Oh, I see. That's how that works. Okay, great. 20 points of damage as that fire just lights up its whole hind leg. You can see there's a huge gash of fire that burns upwards, and it screams.
Metal. I think it may be. I think
Rearing up.
that's very. I think it may be weak to fire.
That is not the case. Actually, let's double check.
Oh.
Oh, no, it's not. But as you slam into it, it seems to have full impact of that damage. Anything else?
Well, and for my bonus on my auto crossbow, where it shoots 10 bullets, I'm gonna put some poison on them just for
Okay.
good measures for later.
Yep, just getting ready, just in case. And that might come with good reason. As Mr. Nerdy, you're next.
I'll move down to a level 3 magic missile.
Okay, sending more of this flying energy across. That's 5d4 plus 5.
10.
15.
15 total?
15.
All right, taking all of those shattering light elements. 5 hits that slam into it as it rears in pain. Anything else?
I think I'm pretty comfy where I am.
Great. It will try to make its Constitution save. Right, that's. So roll it.
I'll spend all my.
Nope. I rolled a 3. Wow, what's going on? Still blinded. Apparently, it's going to just swing wildly, so it has disadvantage on that club attack against you.
And if it still hits me, it divided by 2 because of one of my abilities.
That's right. You'd have uncanny dodge, right? So it does swing actually quite quickly. You see one swing come across. Let's see, it's plus plus 6. First one comes at 16.
Divided by 2, or
What's your
want-
armor class?
My armor class is 16.
Oh, that does hit you then. Okay. So you can choose to evade it.
Yeah, I'll just evade it.
Okay.
Oh, what did I-
That will do just 6 points of damage with your evasion. It would normally do 12. You get
Wait,
smashed with that.
evading is when. Let's see. Hold on. Wait. Use care.
Uncanny dodge, rather.
I don't.
Yeah, so it would do 12, but you have it to make it 6, right?
It would be 12 damage. I can use uncanny dodge if I need to. I can use. Or I can just use evasion if I want to.
What is it?
When you're subjected to an effect that allows you to make a dex saving throw.
Nope, that's not this case.
You
No
only
dex
take
saving
half
throw.
damage.
Correct.
You will take no damage if you succeed in the saving throw.
Yep, but it's not a dex saving throw. It's an attack. So you take 6 points of damage with that uncanny dodge. That uses your reaction. It will swing again. This time landing at 18. That also hits you. This one only does 8 points of damage. As you're taking the brunt of the attack, the third attack tries to slam downwards, but no. There's a large splash and you duck underneath. You see these creatures are quite vicious. Go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Wait, so I only took 6 damage or more?
You take 6 from the first and 8 from the second. So 14 total. And you have to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
And then let's see, wait. And then 8. Wait, so 6 from the first, 8 from the next.
Correct.
And then I have to make a constitution saving throw.
Yes, you do. Ruff, your turn.
And I got a 18.
18, no problem. All right, as you feel some weird kind of elements try to take into your body, your adrenaline just pushes it out and you're fully aware and attentive. Nothing affects. Ruff.
So I think I might have. I haven't. I could. No, I don't want to use the volcanic. I was thinking of using the volcanic fire on him. And I'm gonna shoot him with my
I
long.
want to save it. I want to save it.
Or actually, can I throw my great axe at him? Can I throw my
Don't
last?
waste your items.
Can I throw one of my great
You
axes?
have a
at him?
bow?
So if you throw your great axe, I think
Yeah,
that's
no
like an
weapon.
improvised weapon.
Yeah, I can move closer and then throw it,
If
If
you
you have
want.
like a bow,
and then I could shoot him
bow's
another
probably
time.
better.
So I could move forward, throw a great axe at him, and then shoot him.
I would say probably not because both of them take 2 hands, and well, I guess we can call
I'd say
it.
just dip it in whatever thing you have. Like dip it in the volcanic fire, the arrow, and just shoot it.
Yeah, because
You don't want
Because
to waste your great axe.
both take 2 hands. It'd be too hard to react in 6 seconds to throw your axe with some strength and then pull out your bow and then shoot again, right?
All right, I'll dip it in volcanic fire, and then I'll shoot it.
Oh, you
So
still have
it-
some volcanic fire.
I still have the entire vial.
Okay.
I use my a little bit, only a drop of my alchemist fire, but that
So
thing
if I
touches
use-
decent.
if I-
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
If I still have the entire vial, which is like probably
It's basically infinite. If you always dip your arrow in it, if you only dip your arrow on it, it's infinite.
so
it
if I
lasts
dip my
forever.
arrow in it, I basically
it'd be
won't
really
use the
weak,
entire thing
but-
up, right?
It,
So
it
If you
doesn't
what?
work
Like-
as well as alchemist fire.
So I'll dip it into the volcanic fire.
That burns well.
I'll dip it into the volcanic fire, and then I'll shoot it. Do I get advantage when I shoot it because it's blinded?
Actually, that's not how blinded works, but you will be able to. Let's see. Nope. Unfortunately, you'd have to be at melee range in order to get advantage from flanking. So no, it's just a regular attack.
14.
14 does hit.
And
Okay.
then
And damage.
Oh yeah, damage. Do I get plus the volcanic fire?
Yes, you
and
do,
that's
but
2d6.
Plus 5.
8. Well, how much is the volcanic fire?
2d6.
well, it depends how much you
Volcanic
use of
fire?
it.
I just dipped it into the volcanic fire.
Okay, just a small residual then.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna give you +2 then.
Okay. So that's 10.
10 total.
Yes.
All right. Fire. Okay, cool. It'll take that arrow shot. You find a good mark as it embeds into his chest as it swung around. There's a little bit of a fire explosion that comes from it. Make your second shot.
Then I'll dip it in there again.
Yep.
Then I'll shoot it.
Okay.
17.
17 hits as well.
17. That's the thing.
Plus 2.
And then I need to do the damage in that.
Oh, okay. That was
Okay.
damage roll.
11.
11 more. Okay. 11 more. The second arrow plans very closely to the first one. As you see, the fire erupts from it again. It's screaming in pain as it wails. Still standing though. Blood is starting to seep out from that chest wound. Okay. Do you wish to do any movement?
I'll move like. Can I annotate on the screen?
Pardon?
Can I annotate on the screen?
Yeah, of course.
I'll move to like right about here. Like right there.
Not seeing it. Seems like there's some lag.
Right
But-
right there.
Ah, okay. Just right to
Right
the other
next to
side
that
of the
box.
chest?
Yeah, like next to that box.
Okay. Oh, getting some delay. There we go. Let's go. All right. For some reason, the software is really creeping along, but yes, I will move you to that spot. Let's go. Okay, that's fine. I'll make a note of that. And then let's proceed onwards. So, with Ruff's double shots landing into that creature's body, let's see, he's gonna make a check really quick. Oh, okay, not great about his senses coming about. The bard echoes, "Do you need any help?"
Yeah, can you shoot him with one of those damage spells again?
I can certainly do that. He sends out another powerful kind of shard of black energy that is going to send and do 12 more points of damage. Yes, good, Rough moved. Okay. 12 more. Oh, that's getting really close. As this blackness once again kind of cripples over its body, you can see that it starts losing some of its posture as it's kind of lumped over. But it has been enough time that, let's see, another creature emerge
Oh boy.
from the stairs above.
What
You
is
can see
that?
this one stands unusually with a rod and almost kind of a hunched over posture, ready to do something. But Shade, you're first.
He's wearing a skirt.
It looks like a warthog.
Maybe it's his wife. Get back here for dinner.
I'm gonna slash that, like the weird lizard thingy,
Which one?
the one next to me
Yep, go ahead.
with the fire sword.
Yes.
Is this still blinded?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I still get the 3d6. That blindness deafness really makes me extremely powerful
Okay.
since he can't see me.
Yeah.
Plus,
Actually, you have
15.
to make it. Hold on, make a concentration check. Because you got hit twice, you have to roll 2 concentration checks.
There's concentration on here. No, there isn't. Penalty,
Constitution
penalty.
saving throw.
I got an 11.
Oh, see, with that hit that you took from its blindly swinging around, you lose the concentration of your spell, and the cloudiness goes away. However, because of Kane's kind of poisonous effect, it's not blinded, but it has disadvantage for it's considered poison. So, unfortunately, you won't have sneak attack, but you will be able to attack it.
He's still dizzy.
Okay.
Yep, essentially.
So 23.
23 hits. Yeah, no problem.
And then damage is 7 plus 9, 16.
Yeah, with that, your sword embeds into its kind of jugular with the fire emblazing upon its jaw, and you see it hangs its heavy head upon your sword.
Oh, I can't wait. I want to boot it.
Go ahead and make a dex saving throw.
Okay.
It's gonna
Fall
blow up.
on you.
It's gonna blow up.
19.
19, yes, you quickly move out of the way, plunging the sword out, feeling the whole body almost following with your blade. Crumples down into the marshy floor. His
Ooh,
body slumps over.
wonder how much money is in there.
And the other one calls out in a shrill of a voice. Anything else you want to do?
Put the thimbleweed I got from down there into the boat.
So I don't believe you got thimblewood. I believe Mr. Nerdy did.
And then I'll loot the body.
Okay. So you're going to just start scavenging the remains as well, that would take an action, so you'd already made your attack, but you're getting ready to kind of dig through it, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Mr. Nerdy. And we'll probably have to stop after this round. It's already been an hour. Can you believe it, you guys? We'll see. Depends how you guys want to do. Okay,
We
Mr.
have to
Nerdy.
do these things more quickly.
We could probably do one more of these in a minute.
Okay, so whose turn is it?
Yours.
Me?
Yep.
Well, I got more magic missiles coming.
You do. Okay.
Yeah, I got 2 more of these at level 3.
As you send the magic missiles to this creature, you see it pound its staff down.
20.
As all these little spheres start landing towards its face, you can see it has a very stern look as its brows rise up. And all the spells splash in front of its face. However, it seems to be unmoved.
Uh-oh, it's magic resistant.
Seems like those missiles did nothing. Anything
Okay,
else?
Use fire. Use fire. Physical weapons and fire.
Alright, then I can dip an arrow in alchemist fire.
So, Mr. Nerdy, are you moving, or are you gonna stay there?
I'm staying where I am, especially if my spells are not working on. I'm not getting any close.
Okay, great. Rough, you're next.
I'll use alchemist fire, or actually I'll just throw one of my great axes at him.
We'll rip it up by 6.
Hey, no.
Okay,
No, that's
send
all
that axe. Go ahead.
Fine. We have to
So-
finish by 6.
So I have to do a
Got it.
strength check first, right?
As you're throwing your axe, yes.
So strength or strength. 24.
That will definitely be strong enough. You have the momentum as the axe slams into it. You can see it's pretty much lower left side of the belly. Go ahead and roll your damage.
$15.
15 points, okay. That seemed to penetrate any of this weird mystical effect that was around it. You can see that axe is planted in it. Anything else?
Yes, I will shoot it with an arrow.
So remember, you can't do two-handed
Oh, yeah.
actions.
It only moves now.
Well, if you had like a small sword, you could probably run up and, stab it or something. And remember, you're a barbarian, so you could always do rage as well.
What's rage?
Are you asking?
I think I'll just stay where I am for now and review what rage is.
Do you need me to tell you what barbarian rage is?
Sure.
You are the barbarian. You're supposed to know.
Well, it's been a while, so as a barbarian class feature, you can rage, which means when you're fighting you get a primal instinct of fury that enters you. And this takes a bonus action, not even your regular action. So you have advantage for all strength checks that you do. When you make melee weapon attacks, you get +2 to your damage rolls. Plus you also have resistance whenever you get hit by bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage.
That is a nice part.
It is.
Okay, then I'll use rage on the pork chop.
Well, you use rage on yourself. It's like you go into like this furious.
Yeah, I'll use rage
Mode.
and then I'll go beat
Go
that
attack.
beat the pork chop up. Beat the pork chop up.
Okay. So you should add +2 to your damage first off. Oh, it's not a melee attack. Sorry, you don't. You threw it. Okay, so you're gonna run up.
Yeah.
All right. In your frenzy rage, you've raced towards this creature. And do you have a one-handed weapon?
I only have great axes.
You have an unarmed strike.
Yeah, I guess you'll just have to punch it then.
Use your fist.
Okay.
Really, you don't even have like a short sword or a dagger?
He doesn't.
Wait,
That's funny.
let me see real
No,
quick.
you don't.
Let me just make sure.
Can you grab one from me? I have multiple daggers and I have a great
You have a bedroll. You
I,
can't have a bedroll.
I can
5
throw a
daggers,
torch at him.
No.
great sword, a rapier.
Okay, fine. I'll hit him with my fist.
Okay. Go ahead and make a strength check.
Strength check. So I guess I get +2 to my strength check, right?
+5. But just roll it.
18.
Yep. That will strike. And then tell me what I think you get +2 to your attack roll or to your damage roll. Plus, I think punches are just a straight number, right?
It's a free.
So I get 5.
So
and
5
how
points
many
more?
hits do I get? How many hits do I get on him?
One shot.
Only free.
Yep. So it's 3 plus
So
2 because
5
of your
plus
strength.
2 for my damage.
Correct. All right. Cool. So that will end Ruff's turn. That puts you in a good position as you're right next to it. Let's turn this off. I think this sound is kind of messing things up. All right. Great. Now it moves over to this creature that stands before you. It will.
Oh no.
You're right there, huh? I guess it's trying to. Okay, so it will do that. Ruff, you're right next to it. You can make a attack of opportunity
So what does that
as
mean?
it tries to cast a
Moving
spell.
away.
It's casting a spell.
So can I hit it with a great axe?
Yeah,
When
exactly.
I still have rage?
Yes. Slaughter
With
it.
rage, you got it.
Okay, so do I make strength?
You should have a. You should roll your hit dice, right?
Land it right in there.
24.
That will hit for sure.
And then
Put it
great
right
axe
in.
plus 1 for a swing. 17.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
It will have to make a concentration check. Let's just double check really quick. Okay, that's good enough.
Yes.
Before you slash into it, you see that some of its wounds start to magically disappear, but then you just gash right into it with a big roar of your barbarian spirit. And then, in the next moment, after you slam down, it's like you see the gushing of some blood splatter, and then its whole body simply, come on, simply disappear before your eyes, but it's taking a while to do that.
So he's magic resistant and he heals himself and then he can disappear.
Teleport.
He teleports away.
He's the epic mini boss.
Is it? Okay,
Big mini boss.
there it goes. Great. All right. Seems to be like almost a gust of wind that kind of whirls around you. As you turn about, you don't see it anywhere. That will be that. Okay. Moves over to the bard's turn.
Let him follow us.
What are we doing here? Are we taking the thimblewood? Are we gonna kill all these creatures?
Let's go into that little thing. Like,
I wanna kill
go
some
up the
stuff.
staircase.
I want to kill more stuff. It's fun. Oh yeah, I need to scavenge the remains of the guy.
Yes,
No,
you are
no,
doing
no.
that on your turn. Okay, as the
I'm gonna take his armor. His armor seems quite strong.
okay, as that happens, so let's see. The bard will send out a tune of inspiration. He sends it over to Shade.
Oh, inspiration.
Yes, what that is, that means you can use as well. That does take one of his bonuses.
I
Okay.
may use it.
Yep. So anytime that you need it, you can use a D8 to assist you. It happens
A
one
D8 for
opportunity.
anything.
Pretty much. Yep. Okay. And he will stay on the ship. And okay,
No, he should
it
come with
comes to the
us.
next
He will
round.
come with us. Okay,
This is probably going to be the last round.
let's scavenge the remains and then run over to him.
Okay. So go ahead and make an investigation check.
All of us?
Nope. We're still in combat round, technically. So
Please, 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 please. Let's go.
oops.
19.
19 is pretty dang good. Okay. As
I
you
wanted a
scour,
20, so hopefully we can get better items, better things.
yeah, you see that it has this huge mace that's before you. It's obviously planted into this, to the muddy
Can I take that?
grounds. You can. It's pretty heavy. Go ahead and make a
Eh.
strength check.
Strength, let's see. 12.
12. Yeah, unfortunately, from its weight, it is far too heavy for you to carry it by yourself.
That's fine. Keeps on scavenging. Let's see.
Yep.
Hopefully we
Amongst
can
it, you can
mine.
definitely see there's other remains, like you see some fine gems that it has in its kind of vestments that it's been holding.
Yeah, write
And
down gems.
yep, pile of gems and coins, and also a dagger that's underneath.
Well, I got gems. How many coins? How much gold?
I'll say 32.
No, let's go to lost some money. And then it has another dagger.
Yep. Mr. Nerdy, what do you want to do for your turn?
This is way too crazy. I have 6 daggers.
I'll collect some more wood
Okay.
and
You
move my way
return.
towards that box in the bush.
Yep. Go ahead and make a survival check.
Survival.
Wait, I said I was
Yep.
gonna run over to Rough.
Sure, you can.
No, can I do that?
Yeah, you can.
Well-
Go ahead and make a perception check. Oh, this is getting laggy.
Perception 22.
22. All right.
All my stuff has really like acrobatics is +6, animal handling is +4, athletics +7.
That's great.
Everything has at least 1 plus besides performance.
All right. Somehow this interface is not behaving very well, but it's probably a
Yeah, it looks
patch
like
they
it's
just
lagging
did.
a little bit.
A lot of it. It's very
Yeah, it is.
difficult to maneuver. Yeah. But with your 22, you can see there's actually another creature that's at the bottom of the staircase that's moving its way up with a huge blade that is right here. Come on,
Where?
reveal it.
Hmm?
There you go.
Wait, what?
There's another creature that's charging up this staircase as Shade moves upwards. You can see this huge great sword is hanging above its head as it charges upwards.
I think because of the lag, it wasn't showing up before.
Correct.
I have to go soon.
Yep, we're going to end after this round. So, Mr. Nerdy, your roll for...
Survival is 12.
Okay. You're able to gather about 3 more materials as you get closer and deeper. However, you take 2 points of piercing damage.
I know we're finishing up.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. That creature makes its way to the top of the staircase and comes right next to Ruff and takes a slash downwards. You can make a reflex dexterity saving throw.
And also, do I still have rage? Because I take like,
Yes, you do.
so I take less damage.
Yep.
Reach is nice.
Wait, so what do I do?
Dexterity saving throw as it's charging at you.
7.
7 is you're too focused in your rage as you just take on this large creature. It's probably about twice your size, but your instincts are just in pure adrenaline mode, and you want to just come at it and attack it. So it's going to go ahead and attack you. Let's see. Ruff, you're going to take with a charge attack. You take 20 points of bludgeoning damage, but it's halved because of your barbarian rage. So you take 10 points. And
And can I hit it?
yep, Ruff, it's your turn to do your full thing.
Axe blade.
Grand axe plus I'm 19.
19 will hit.
You need to add 2 to it.
Is the damage. So
Yep.
So
Great axe.
7 plus 2, 8, 9. 9 damage.
Okay. There you go. That's looking good. 9 points of damage. First great axe slamming into it. Remember, you add +2 for your barbarian rage. Go ahead and make your second attack. There we go. Finally got to move that.
then can I do a great axe again?
Of course. Yep. That's the whole point. You're like hacking viciously.
I think the reason you may be experiencing lag is that there seems to be 2 streams of video running.
I got a 16.
Are there?
Yeah, we're seeing like a double window
Yeah.
on your interface screen.
That's weird.
I try doing it again.
Is that better?
It's lagging. It says
We're not experiencing it on our end, but it seems like you are.
Okay, that's fine. We're almost done anyway, so
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
so
gone.
now it's gone.
It's gone.
So I got a 16.
it's gone now. Great. Okay, 16. 16 more.
Yay.
16 more or 16. Go ahead and roll
16,
damage. I'll hit.
16 hit.
Yep.
9
11.
and then 11.
11 damage.
11 more. Okay. Double slashes. You see that you're making good fillets of this creature as you slash into it. And then from behind you, there's these particles of beams that smash into the back of your head. Let's see. That will do. Uh, 12 points of arcane damage. Unfortunately, you don't have resistance to that. But these magical orbs that plant, and this creature has appeared out of the ether and sent
Oh my
these
God.
energies to you. It comes to the bard's turn. We're in a trouble here. Get back to the ship. He will send over a healing spell over to. Oh, that's actually pretty far. He will try to leap up and off the ship, moving closer to seeing that Ruff getting into a furious rage, trying to calm down your demeanor a little bit. Will send some magical effects, and we'll have to see if that helps you for next time. So we'll stop our session now
All right.
and resume our combat or your escape or whatnot. We'll see what happens next time.
Wait, but don't I have the ability to move still?
Got 2
Yes, yes, you do. You
I
could.
have double attack.
The frog guy
Yep.
is weaker. Kill the frog guy.
And
You could.
He's
so
gonna attack you while you're leaving though.
But
That's
The
right.
frog guy heals and he teleported away. But he's weaker to melee attacks.
so I will go away, very far away.
Ruff, you're running?
Yes, like behind shade. Shield.
Nice. Okay, he was going
now-
to take his great sword and swing at you, though, because it's attack of opportunity, unless you have something to get out of the way. You're going to take it?
Okay.
So you still have what, 20 points of health? How much health do you have left? How much?
Okay. That will be 19 to your armor class. Oh, sorry.
You have 24 points.
18 to your armor class.
I have 16 armor class.
Okay, that will strike you as you try to make a bolt out, and your instincts try to weave through, but you catch the edge of the blade as it slices into you. You still have barbarian rage, so you're going to take half of this, which is 7 points of damage. Halved is 3. To go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, Constitution saving throw first.
Yep. Still getting lagged.
18.
18, no problem. Yep, our barbarian instincts are serving you well as you just get clipped on your backside You barely even feel it as you rush downwards. And this sensation of some cleansing comes over your body, and we'll see what happens next time.
Wait.
So you didn't take damage at all?
We don't know.
Okay. But you got cleansed from behind.
Internal damage, broken spine.
Nope, you're definitely not a broken
You
spine.
got a haircut.
Yep, just a little bit of a cleave. All right,
Okay,
great.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep. All
Thank
right,
you,
guys.
bye.
Thanks for another session of D&D. See you next time, as our adventurers will have to see how much thimblewood they can get out, and if they can even get out with their lives.
8
Which,
units so far? 5
the-
units first time, 3 units the second time.
yeah, exactly. You've made out with some amount of resources.
But we were fixing a whole vehicle, right?
Well, we'll see what you gather and what other resources may be required based on what you do.
Oh boy. Oh, it's like if we had come all this way and went back, and it's like, this is nowhere close. She said
Unfortunately, it
back.
wasn't specified, but you feel like you have quite a amount of material, especially with your high nature check. So
Okay.
not so bad. Okay,
All right.
have a
Thank you
great
very
week,
much.
guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Welcome.
Master.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.